That's a problem.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Toast Hammer. Now, it's been a little bit since I've played around with my Custodes army, but as you saw in that intro, I have a little bit of a problem. I don't know exactly what caused it. It might have been that I had too much UV resin. It might have been that some of it was like uncured or over cured. I'm not nearly well versed enough in the space to really kind of make a call on that one way or the other. But what I do know is that that is not a sustainable basing technique. It didn't happen to all of my guys. The first one I tried it with, it seemed to work fine. But as you saw, my Valdor kit bash, that was in a pretty bad state. In another test base I had it happened there too. So I had to come up with a solution. Luckily, I had a new tool in the arsenal to come up with one that I had already been wanting to try to do. So I'm glad I have an excuse to try it out. We're going to 3D model a replacement base and then try and print that off. So let's get into it. Now, I actually do have a little bit of experience with Blender. I at one point toyed around with the idea of making the animated intro to this channel in Blender. I obviously did not end up doing that, but I know enough to be a little bit dangerous. So I took an STL for the proper sized 40mm base, and I quickly mocked up in a Affinity Designer, which is sort of a vector illustrating program, a quick infinity symbol, because as you know, the City and Dust prominently makes use of the symbol etched into its floors and walls. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to take that aspect of it and include it in my basing, which is something I wanted to do anyways, but just couldn't really with the UV resin approach. So after messing with the settings for a while and looking up a couple of online tutorials, I finally figured out how to import the SVGs, turn them into 3D things, and cut them out of the base. And there you go, I had my STL for this new custom base ready to go. There was a little bit left to figure out though. Because this is such a minute detail, I wasn't sure if my printer could handle printing it in the normal orientation. So I tried a couple of tests out. Printing it just face up as expected was not really sufficient to get the effect I want, because my printer has a 4mm nozzle, I think, 0.4mm nozzle, something like that. The nozzle's too wide. It can do very thin layer lines, but it cannot do super thin horizontal lines. That's a bad way to describe it, but what I mean to say is it can stack things up thinly, but it cannot take things laterally thinly, if that makes sense in 3D space. So the resolution wasn't great on that base, but after I angled it up 45 degrees and added some supports, that turned out pretty well, and it turned out even better when I angled it and rotated it so that all of the figure 8 rows were at an angle to each other as well, and not just flat horizontally. That seemed to have the best resolution of all of them. After that was done, all that was left was to slap a little bit of paint. And I tried to do something similar to my previous amber technique, laying down some orange, trying to dry brush a little bit of yellow there, although I'm not 100% sure it did anything, and then hitting it with some MIG wet effects instead of UV resin this time, well, to get that high gloss coat. One of my favorite effects for a glossy finish. And it looks okay. I definitely could have hit it with more coats of orange to get that more of a solid color, or use a spray orange or something like that. But the issue isn't necessarily the paint coverage, which, although it could be improved, this is just a proof of concept anyway, so it's not a huge deal. The issue that I'm now facing is that the base seems to lack a bit of dimensionality to it that was really clear and present in the UV resin iteration of this base. And that's something that I would like to try and preserve, because these bases are supposed to be amber. There should be some translucency to it, some dimensionality to it. I might try and cover this with a thinner coat of UV resin and see how that hits. That might help. I do have one more idea, but I don't have the right resources for it yet. So this might have a part 2 to it. We'll have to see how that turns out. What's up, guys? Editing Toast here. One, sorry about the delay. I've just been slammed recently and didn't have time to edit this video. But two, I did pick up that transparent pigment, or transparent filament, and tried it out. And it looks pretty cool, but the details were kind of hard to see. So I did some tests. And when I say I did some tests, I mean I did a lot of tests. Eventually arriving on AK Interactive's light rust wash as a nice acrylic wash, just one coat over it, and I thought it looked pretty good at picking up the details and kind of shifting the color over from yellow to orange. But with that part reaching completion, these bases are now complete, and I can show them off to you guys. So here's what they ended up looking like, and I'm pretty happy with the result. So, a little bit of a weird video because I wasn't expecting to have this issue. But if you did like the kind of problem-solving saga I went through here, be sure to give the video a like. It helps me out a lot. And if you do enjoy watching the continued trials and tribulations of my Custodes armory, please feel free to subscribe, as that also helps the channel out quite a bit. And as always, say hi in the Toast Hammer Discord, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!